Way too jaded. Way too jaded. Let's get some energy, McMahon. Who talks like that? Way too jaded. All right. Ooh. So yesterday was a solar eclipse. And I am so jaded that I did absolutely nothing. I followed none of the solar eclipse protocols. I wasn't part of the conversation. And being a watch obsessive, I was probably thinking about watches more than I was the solar eclipse. However, on the day of the solar eclipse, it was an occasion for me to contemplate the psychology of mass hysteria, mass manipulation, especially in the age of the internet, because that's the age we live in now. I believe that people get involved in the solar eclipse because they don't want to be left out of the conversation. They want to be relevant. I think we're tribalistic by nature. We want a sense of belonging. When the tribe is interested in something, we don't want to be left out. And then it just snowballs, and it snowballs, and it snowballs. And I was thinking about that yesterday. And, oh, by the way, it's my spring break. My family's was the spring break week before, so this is my week, so it didn't sync, but I don't know, I got more time to think about some of these video essay content situations. So, as I was thinking yesterday about mass hysteria in the internet age, I started thinking, I remember it very clearly in the pre-internet age. I remember I worked at a very fancy wine store in Berkeley. It was right next to the Claremont Hotel when I was going to college in the early 1980s. And then as I was teaching part-time, I still worked there part-time because I knew the owner. And it was just the hub of buzz. And, a lot of celebrities would shop at this wine store. Ricky Henderson, Reggie Jackson, Bart Starr and his wife. His wife got Bart Starr a Kit Kat bar. The band of Aerosmith, the lead singer of Creedence Clearwater Revival. I could go on and on. It was a crazy place, and we had a TV set above the cash register, and I remember there was a movie about the Soviet Union attacking the United States called The Day After, and it was about nuclear war. And I remember all my coworkers were depressed. Oh, the end of the world's coming. All the customers were depressed. It was like a funeral at the wine store. And it had an effect on me. I'm this young kid, man. And I'm depressed. And I'm driving home. And I go home. My mom sees I'm depressed. What's wrong, Jeff? Ma, the world's coming to an end. Haven't you heard? The day after. Ma, I need some comfort food. Make me some Hamburger Helper. And my mom feels sorry for me, so she makes me my comfort food, Hamburger Helper. I remember that was a big part of my youth, working at that wine store the day after. And then, shortly after, this is insane. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are probably too young to remember this. This company, this soda pop company called CocaCola, you might have heard of them. They decide they're going to change the formula. It's going to be the new improved formula. And, man, looking back on it, I wonder if they did this as a mass manipulation publicity ploy, but I don't know. But let's go on with the story. So Coca-Cola announces they're going to have a new formula. I'm working at the wine store. This must have been this is a couple years later. This is 1985, I believe. And in the cellar of our wine store, we've got just cases and cases of the old stock Coca-Cola, the old stock. And somehow word got out that we had lots of the old stock. And, most of our customers are from the Berkeley area. But I'm telling you, man, there was hysteria to get this old stock Coke. We had customers coming in from Pinole, Kensington, Oakland, Hercules, Orinda, Lafayette, Moraga. And man, I was breaking my back. I had the hand truck. I was bringing out cases and cases. People were making pilgrimages to get the old formula Coke. They didn't want the new formula. And it was almost like an announcement had made that the Holy Bible was going to have a new edition. We're going to remove the book of Job, And we're going to put in the place of the book of Job, the book of Meatloaf. And this will be called the Bat Out of Hell Edition Bible. And no one wanted the Bat Out of Hell Edition Bible. Everyone wanted the original with the book of Job. No one wanted the Meatloaf book. You know, the Bat Out of Hell Edition. It was just insane. And then, you know, CocaCola, they had to like reassure their consumer base and have classic Coke. Oh, look. Was this all a manipulation? That they planned this to begin with? Or were they ad hoc? Was this extemporaneous? I don't know. The cynic in me says they had it all planned out. Mass manipulation. Now, as many of you guys know, I'm a watch addict. And in the watch world, hysteria doesn't exist in a mass level. It's more of a micro level, because that's how these watch brands, they sell. They have to go into that consumer base. You know, for example, you know, Seiko Holics, we go wild. We want that original tuna, that first edition tuna, that third gen monster, that original Captain Willard. I must have it. And part of it is fear. Part of it's just the fear of not having it anymore, the fear that this amazing version of something that we once had is lost forever, or we want it. But it's not all fear. Partly it's enchantment. When I think of us going on the watch quest, I don't think it's just fear. I think it's enchantment. If I could use an analogy or an allegory, I think we're like Charlton Heston in the Planet of the Apes, and we go into a haunted forest, and we're Charlton Heston, we're wearing a loincloth, and we're on a long journey to find our Holy Grail watches. And the journey is long. We're going to be hungry. And it's going to be we're going to have to fight in that haunted forest. There's going to be bats out of hell attacking us. And to stave off our hunger, we're going to have a satchel, and we're going to have hamburger helper in it. And as we go on this journey, we stumble across a prone statue, the Statue of Liberty. And she says, yeah, I'm the Statue of Liberty from Planet of the Apes. And Charlton Heston says, you're just what I was looking for. And she says, no, you're not looking for me. You're looking for the 5-wristed watch giant. On every wrist, he has a Holy Grail watch. And Charlton Heston says, where can I find this 5-wristed watch giant? In this haunted forest, which I can barely see anything because there's bats flying from hell everywhere. And the Statue of Liberty says to Charlton Heston, follow the Coca-Cola signs. The Coca-Cola signs will take you to the 5-wristed watch giant. And sure enough, Charlton Heston follows the Coca-Cola signs, and there's this rabid, savage beast full of rage. And Charlton Heston takes hamburger helper out of his satchel, and he feeds it to the 5-wristed watch giant. And the giant goes, this is tasty. More, please. And Charlton Heston tames the watch giant. He brings it back, you know, with a chain collar, a chain leash. And he has a circus, and he's an impresario, and like masses of people show up, drinking their classic Coca-Cola and eating their hamburger helper. And he, you know, it's interesting. When you bring back your Holy Grail watch, you're kind of like that impresario at the circus. You are the center of attention. You are the solar eclipse of the watch world. And that's what we become. And when you do that, when you have that disruptive attention-getting moment, you know, you post your 5-wristed watch giant on your YouTube video. People go crazy, you know, you get lots of hits. What's the word? You achieve the state of virality. I remember when I was young, kids, when I achieved the state of virality. And one thing that I've observed as a watch obsessive is that we never learn anything. Our watch hobby is this state of complete insanity, like I just described. You know, complete hype and insanity. We lose our minds, and then, you know, the craziness wears off, you know, like the werewolf. We come back to reality, and then our watch hobby is kind of normal. Yeah, I'm breathing again. I got a nice manageable collection. It's like we go back and forth between harmony and order here and then just complete chaos over there. And we never really change. There's this tension in our watch hobby, just goes back and forth between us. And it reminds me of something I should probably tell you. When I make these videos, I don't think I have anything to teach you. I don't think there's any lessons to be learned. I think I can just make observations about what I see about the insanity of the watch hobby. And I'm going to say something about the insanity of the watch hobby. The watch hobby would not be fun. It wouldn't be enchanting if it wasn't crazy. I'm sorry, the craziness is baked in. And I don't think we're going to get wise or smart or learn less. I'm reminded of the final episode of Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's walking, I believe it was at the airport or something, or a hotel, and a kid accidentally throws something, hits him in the head, and his mom wants the kid to apologize to Larry David, and this is a teachable moment, it's a teachable moment. And Larry David just looks at the kid. He says, dude, I'm 76 years old. I've never learned anything in my life. And I kind of relate to Larry David, man. It's like things in my psyche, they're just baked in, man. I can observe the madness of the 1980s when I worked at a wine store, the mass hysteria. I can see the micro hysteria in the watch world. I don't think anything has changed. I want to end this with something. Did you notice I made a reference to Charlton Heston and Planet of the Apes? That movie is not about human evolution. It's about human de-evolution. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's us, man. We're not learning stuff, man. We're Larry David, man. So that's what was going on in my mind yesterday. I was completely indifferent to the solar eclipse, but I was completely fascinated by the psychology of mass hysteria behind it. All right, I made a connection to the watch hobby somehow in this presentation. Don't know how I did it. I don't even believe I now have a craving for Hamburger Helper, which I've not had since 1984. That's insane. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm out.